everyone, welcome to this update video. I really do hope that you're having a wonderful week thus far. Now we'll be looking at what is going on across the North Atlantic, and the focus is going to be on the Caribbean region as per usual. And as we look at the satellite imagery here, the infrared satellite, we can see quite a bit of activity just offshore the US and within the vicinity of the Bahamas and even Bermuda as well. So there is an area of low pressure out there that is helping to influence all of that activity, and the associated front extends into the Caribbean, and that will be impacting some areas. It has already started to impact some areas. We're going to be taking a look at the latest details in today's update video. Now let's zoom closer to the region. Here we can see it. So we can see all that associated cloud cover with the frontal system that's moving down into the region that's been affecting parts of Cuba, even parts of the Bahamas. There's even been some thunderstorms in a few spots, and it's just offshore the Cayman Islands now and then extends towards Central America. As for Jamaica, there is some moisture in the region. Notice a bit of those white patches indicating those clouds. Similar thing for parts of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands, and even headed towards the Lesser Antilles. Now, as it pertains to the system, here we're looking at the surface chart here. We can see that frontal system marked by those blue triangles and that diagonal line. So that tends towards down from that main area of low pressure down into the Caribbean, the northwestern Caribbean. Now, as we're going to be heading throughout today, this is a look at our rainfall forecast. Now, the more color we see indicates more rainfall activity. So again, with that system, parts of Florida, much of the Bahamas likely to experience some periods of heavy rain and even thunderstorms today. Headed more towards the vicinity of the southern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, there may not be as much rain, but there could definitely be some passing showers. And then as we head towards Cuba, there could be some heavy rain across much of the island. Similar thing possible for parts of the Cayman Islands, and towards Central America for the Bay Islands, northern Honduras. Even a few spots in Belize may experience some showers at times. Guatemala, a whole lot not expected. And El Salvador, a few showers around. Nicaragua, similar story. Nothing crazy as we head towards Costa Rica and Panama. And as for the offshore islands of San Andreas and Providencia, much not expected either. As for Jamaica, I mentioned the patches of clouds within the region, so there is likely to be some downpours throughout today across some areas. And then as we head to Hispaniola, Puerto Rico especially, we can see a little bit more color there, indicating that, hey, there could be a bit of a substantial rain event in some of the areas, especially for the southern part of the island. Virgin Islands, not a whole lot anticipated. Lesser Antilles, those passing showers. ABC Islands, things will likely be on the drier side. Now, for northern South America, going to Colombia, it'll likely be very active with some periods of very heavy rain. Not as much for Venezuela and even Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. So that is what is expected today, guys. And even if you're in parts of the Bahamas or even Cuba and you experience any heavy rain, there is going to be that possibility of some inundation, especially in low-lying areas. So please do not take any unnecessary risks. If you see flooded roadways, don't attempt to drive through. Don't attempt to cross flooded bridges either, just in case that happens. So that is pretty much what is going on for the most part in the realm of weather across the Caribbean. And one of the things I want to look at, we're going to slowly talk more and more about other variables across the Atlantic on a whole as we eventually approach the start of the 2025 hurricane season. Now, this is a look at our sea surface temperature anomaly chart here. Now, the anomaly simply means how much it is different from what is normal. So these orange, yellow, red shadings indicate that the temperature is above normal, the sea surface temperature. Meanwhile, the blue shadings indicate that temperatures are below normal, and the whites indicate temperatures are pretty much average. So we can see that there's been some warm up in the Gulf of Mexico. We can see that that little area of those red shadings indicating that, hey, there's definitely been some warming here. Across the Caribbean, this isn't anything crazy to see because we're warm all year round, but temperatures are above average for the most part across the Caribbean Sea and even other parts of the Western Atlantic. Now, pertaining to the actual temperature, here we can see, so temperatures across the Caribbean range from 26 degrees Celsius, more so towards the just offshore South America. And for much of the region, we see 27 degrees Celsius towards Central America, 28 degrees Celsius, and things got a bit cooler in the Gulf. But again, there is some warm up going on, and we'll continue to see that, especially as we head into spring. And late spring is when the hurricane season is going to officially commence. Now, we are in a La Nina. We're still in a La Nina, and that is expected to persist. We could transition to neutral conditions soon, though. But because of the fact that we are in that phase of the end, so it typically enhances activity towards the Atlantic and may result in a more active hurricane season. That's what La Nina typically does. And seeing that we may kickstart the hurricane season being in a weak La Nina, maybe to neutral conditions, we could see a bit more action, not just in terms of tropical cyclone activity, but even more rain. The rainy season could be a bit wetter across parts of the region. That is something that we'll be talking about more and more. As I said, as we progress more towards the start of the 2025 season, we'll be talking more and more about the tropics and these different variables that will impact the hurricane season. But as of right now, I just wanted to bring your attention to that low pressure area. It's bringing its impacts, and that's pretty much it for this update video today, guys, and I really do hope you found it to be quite informative. However, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'll get to you when I can, and remember to always be weatherwise.